Successful, enduring business partnerships are exceedingly rare. Statistics vary, but it's a well-known fact that 90% of all partnerships fail within the first 5 years. Not only can these failures result in staggering financial losses, but they more often than not result in fractured families and friendships. In fact, before creating the successful business partnership creator, Hugh Stewart lost one of his best friends to a failed partnership. That was a real wake-up call for him, and one of the reasons he created this course. I'll tell you a little bit about that experience later on in this presentation. Right now, let me tell you a little about Hugh Stewart. He's a major of the United States Air Force Auxiliary, but more importantly, he has created and operated over 17 businesses in the past 10 years alone, in industries such as money services, real estate, advertising, insurance consulting, and coaching. His philosophy is to not just be the best at what he does, but instead to be the source from which the best people come, people just like you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 2 of Hugh's partnership experiences. We'll examine some common partnership pitfalls and how to avoid them. By the end of this presentation, you'll know the one key component of every successful partnership. It's surprisingly simple, yet the lack of it keeps lawyers awash in caviar and Cadillacs. Now, because the techniques he teaches in his course are so powerful and ultimately decrease the need for partnership litigation, we can't guarantee that this video will be up for very long. Attorneys just hate it when common sense solutions to everyday business problems come along and they start squawking. So let's not waste any more time and get right to the heart of the matter. Let me tell you about Hugh's very own partnership nightmare. The worst partnership he was ever involved in started off being one of the most successful businesses he had ever created. The business was built with some of his best and closest friends, and they were making lots of money during the time. The first phase of the business took about 2.5 years to build, and they had a very successful financial model that fit that business and industry. The trouble started when they took on a bigger project and kept the same financial structure. Because the financial arrangement was a 50-50 equity arrangement, the business was doomed to fail. It broke Hugh's heart when he received the notice of a lawsuit for almost $100,000 from his best friends in the world. The failure of the business ended their friendship and left a sense of bitterness in Hugh that has not subsided to this day. Even though each side of the partnership reached an appropriate settlement, Hugh was stuck operating an asset that eventually cost him over $1 million in missed opportunities and over $400,000 in lost cash. This experience absolutely shook him to his core, and he resolved to find some way to prevent it from happening ever again. He took a long, hard look at how he had constructed that partnership and discovered some key questions that he should have been asking right from the very start. What is my partner's long-term vision for the business? Are there any potential conflicts with my partner's other personal and business endeavors? Who brings what to the business and what is it worth? Is a 50-50 partnership an appropriate structure for us? What happens if my partner wants to sell their portion of the business? Fast forward to Hugh's most successful partnership, one with a partner who is 32 years older than him. They have been in business together for over 10 years and have created many businesses together. As a matter of fact, they've been having a business divorce conversation for the past 5 years, a process that Hugh calls one of the most dynamic and evolutionary conversations that he has ever had. Hugh watched in amazement as his partner's goals and visions transformed and his life direction changed. He and his partner remain in constant dialogue about what each other's roles in the business meant while preserving fairness in the treatment of equity, compensation, and operational responsibilities. Because they have maintained excellent communication throughout the years, their personal relationship has remained incredible as their professional relationship draws to a close. In total, they have started and sold or ended 5 businesses together, and Hugh is increasingly grateful for the positive impact his partner has had on his life. If it were not for some of the processes that we teach in the program, he and his partner undoubtedly would have had many impassable moments in their time together. Moments that could have easily ended in lawsuits, the destruction of the business, or worse. Does this sound like the type of partnership you want to build? If you're anything like the majority of our students, you'll want to get started immediately, and you're also probably asking yourself, "Self, I wonder how much Hugh is charging for this." because he truly wants to help as many people as possible avoid the type of heartache a poorly constructed partnership can bring and pave the way for successful, fulfilling, and ultimately profitable partnerships for his students. We've decided to offer the digital version of the Successful Business Partnership Creator for only $197. Like I said before, there's a chance that we'll be forced to take this presentation down, so go ahead and click on the Add to Cart button below and get started creating your successful business partnership today. Now, I could probably spend the next couple of hours detailing all the successes Hugh experienced and pitfalls he avoided by applying the simple principles outlined in the Successful Business Partnership Creator. But I'm going to let one of our students tell you about her experience.
Hi, my name is Trish Thompson, and last year I started a business partnership with the co-writer and co-creator of my musical project called Tipsy and Chelsea. Before seeing the Successful Business Partnership Creator by Hugh Stewart, my partner and I avoided discussing some issues that probably should have been discussed right out of the gate. A couple of them were creative, and one was logistical, but the most important was a financial issue. Both of us knew we were bringing a lot of talent and experience to the table, but one was making a more substantial financial investment than the other. It caused us a lot of stress because we didn't know how the monies would be distributed once it started coming in. Well, while watching the Partnership Creator, I realized that it was giving me some specific guidelines on effective partnering that most likely would help us communicate better about these issues. So after I watched it, I asked my partner to watch it with me, and we methodically went through and were able to establish some roles and talk about the expectations we had for each other. We even came up with a plan that would pay back the investment partner while both of us were still able to receive a salary to take care of our personal obligations. I can't tell you how much this reduced stress between us, and it's made it easier to be open about some sensitive issues. And that way we were able to spend our time and energy creating great songs and playing them for our fans. So thank you very much, Hugh Stewart, for coming up with such a great program.
We love it when our students take the time to tell us about the success they've experienced by following the simple steps in the Successful Business Partnership Creator. It lets us know that we're truly making a positive impact in the lives of our students. In fact, we're so confident that the Successful Business Partnership Creator will help you build a better, more enduring partnership that we include a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're dissatisfied for any reason, you'll receive a full refund. No questions asked. So the ball is truly in your court. Remember Trish Thompson, one of our students who sent in that video testimonial? Here's a little more of what she said about Hugh and the Successful Business Partnership Creator. The first thing that attracted me was Hugh Stewart's diverse background in business. He talks about his involvement in many different types of business partnerships and how some were more successful than others. But the striking thing was the emphasis of how to dissolve the partnership once that day inevitably comes. In all the excitement of forming a new business with a new partner, you rarely think about such things. No matter what stage of a partnership you're in, merely thinking about forming a partnership, taking your current partnership to the next level, or deciding whether to dismantle your partnership, the Successful Business Partnership Creator will guide your strategic thinking along the way. Before entering into your next partnership, you owe it to yourself and your partner to follow the steps outlined in the Successful Business Partnership Creator system. The last thing you want to experience is the financial and emotional toll that a poorly prepared partnership can bring into your life. And remember, with our 30-day money-back guarantee, you've got nothing to lose, and a successful, fulfilling, and ultimately profitable partnership to gain. So click on the Add to Cart button right now to get started on the path to your successful business partnership today for only $197.